Buffalo and the Erie Canal. On August 9, 1823, the citizens of Buffalo, New York marched through their village to Little Buffalo Creek. They raised an American flag and a celebration began. Their town had just been chosen as the western terminus of the Erie Canal. That day, construction began on the Buffalo end of the canal. The Buffalo celebration took place near the end of a long struggle to build the canal. People had first proposed the idea at least 15 years earlier. A canal is a man-made ditch filled with water for boat transportation. The Erie Canal was to run from Lake Erie in western New York across the state to the Hudson River in the east. An early supporter of the canal was Governor DeWitt Clinton. Critics called the canal Clinton's Ditch. President Thomas Jefferson turned down New York's request for aid. Jefferson said it was madness. Nevertheless, Governor Clinton stuck with his mission. In 1815, New York State passed a law to start construction of the canal. On July 4, 1817, work began on the eastern section. However, two rival New York towns, Buffalo and Black Rock, each wanted to be the western endpoint. Black Rock was the main port on Lake Erie at the time, yet engineers believed Buffalo had a better location because it sat below the level of the lake. The fight continued ad infinitum until Buffalo was finally chosen. The Erie Canal was finished on October 26, 1825. It was 40 feet wide and 4 foot deep. From Buffalo, the waterway ran 350 miles eastward to Albany on the Hudson River. Cargo boats carried goods from Albany to New York City and back. Some people started calling the Erie Canal the eighth wonder of the world. A wagon ride from Buffalo to Albany took 2 weeks. The same trip on a canal boat took only 5 days. Towns and villages grew up along the route. New York City's importance increased as an Atlantic port. Money from tolls enriched New York State. In time, Buffalo became a big port and industrial center. Black Rock became a part of Buffalo. Which of the details best show that the Erie Canal was not supported by many people? Select 2 details. Question 1. A. People had first proposed the idea at least 15 years earlier. B. Jefferson said it was madness. C. They raised an American flag and a celebration began. D. Critics called the canal Clinton's Ditch. E. People had first proposed the idea at least 15 years earlier. Number 2. In paragraph 5, what is the meaning of the Latin phrase ad infinitum? The fight continued ad infinitum until Buffalo was finally chosen. A. Endlessly. B. Silently. C. Happily. D. Surprisingly. Number 3. Part A. What is the main idea of this passage? A. The Erie Canal took many years to be completed from the time it was first proposed. B. The Erie Canal was supported by a state governor but not by the president. C. The Erie Canal, once it got built, opened a waterway from Lake Erie to New York City. D. The Erie Canal ran all the way from Buffalo, New York to Albany, New York. Part B. Choose 2 sentences from the passage that support the main idea. A. The Buffalo celebration took place near the end of a long struggle to build the canal. B. The Erie Canal was to run from Lake Erie in western New York across the state to the Hudson River in the east. C. President Thomas Jefferson turned down New York's request for aid. D. Nevertheless, Governor Clinton stuck with his mission. E. The fight continued ad infinitum until Buffalo was finally chosen. F. Cargo boats carried goods from Albany to New York City and back. Number 4. What was the main port on Lake Erie called? A. The main port on Lake Erie was called Black Bear. B. The main port on Lake Erie was called Black Rock. C. The main port on Lake Erie was called New York Town. D. The main port on Lake Erie was called Wagon Ride. Number 5. Look at the statement below. On August 9, 1823, the citizens of Buffalo, New York, marched through the village to Little Buffalo Creek. They raised an American flag and a celebration began. What can the reader conclude from the statement above? A. The townspeople in Buffalo were shocked that the canal was being built in their town. B. The townspeople in Buffalo were angry that the canal was being built in their town. C. The townspeople in Buffalo were proud that the canal was being built in their town. D. The townspeople in Buffalo were joyful that the canal was being built in their town.